Metamorphosis by Ovid. Book 1. Prologue. Changes of shape, new forms, are the theme which my spirit impels me now to recite. Inspire me, O gods. It is you who have even transformed my art, and spin me a thread from the world's beginning, down to my own lifetime, in one continuous poem. The Creation. Before the earth and the sea and the all-encompassing heaven came into being, the whole of nature displayed a single face, which men have called chaos, a crude, unstructured mass, nothing but weight without motion, a general conglomeration of matter composed of disparate, incompatible elements. No Titan the sun god was present to cast his rays on the universe, nor Phoebe the moon, to replenish her horn and grow to her fullness. No earth suspended in equilibrium, wrapped in its folding mantle of air, nor Amphitrite, the goddess of ocean, to stretch her sinuous arms all around the earth's long coastline. Although the land and the sea and the sky were involved in a great mass, no one could stand on the land or swim in the waves of the sea. And the sky had no light. None of the elements kept its shape, and all were in conflict inside one body, the cold with the hot, the wet with the dry, the soft with the hard, and weight with the weightless. The God who is nature was kindler and brought this dispute to a settlement. He severed the earth from the sky, and he parted the sea from the land. He separated translucent space from the cloudier atmosphere. He disentangled the elements so as to set them free from the heap of darkness, then gave them their separate places and tied them down in a peaceful concordant. Fire flashed out as a weightless force in the vaulted heaven and found its rightful place at the height of the firmament. Air came next in position and lightness. Earth was denser than these, attracted the larger particles, and sank through the downward thrust of its weight. In another region came water, confining the solid disk of its liquid embrace. When the god, whichever one of the gods, had divided the substance of chaos and ordered it thus, in its different constituent members, first, in order that earth should hang suspended, in perfect symmetrical balance, he molded it into the shape of a great sphere. Next he commanded the sea to scatter and swell as they fronted the blast of the winds, surrounding the earth with its circle of shore. To the ocean he added the springs, huge standing pools, and the lakes and the rivers to wind downstream as their sloping banks confined them. These in their various places may be absorbed by the earth itself, or travel as far as the sea, where they enter the broad expanse of more open water and beat on the shore instead of their banks. Then he commanded the plains to extend and the valleys to sink, and the woods to be decked in their leaves, and the rock-faced mountains to soar, and just as the sky is cut into zones, with 2 to northward, 2 to the southward, and a 5th which burns with more heat than the others, so with the earth, which the sky encloses, the god in his wisdom obtained 5 separate zones, or tracks to be traced on its surface. The central zone is too hot for men to inhabit the region. 2 are buried in snow, but 2 he placed in between. Thus he blended the heat and the cold in a temperate climate. Hanging over the lands is the air, whose weight exceeds that of fire, by as much as the weight of earth exceeds that of water. It was here that the god commanded the mists and the clouds to settle, here that he posted the thunder to tremble the hearts of men, with the winds which cause the lightning that burns and lightning that flashes. Still the Creator did not allow winds dominion over the whole wide range of the air. As it is, they can scarcely be stopped from tearing the world to pieces, though each of them governs his blasts in a distant quarter. So angrily brothers can quarrel. Eurus's retreat is the home of the dawn. for the realms of Arabia and Persia through to the mountains that gleam in the morning sunlight. Zephyr is close to the evening and fans the shores that are warmed by the setting sun. Boreas, lord of the blizzard, sweeps into Scythia, land of the frozen north, whilst Astur, opposite, drenches the solid of the south with its clouds of incessant rain. Above the turbulent lower air, the Creator imposed the weightless translucent ether, untainted by earthly pollution. Nature can hardly be settled with its separate compartments. When stars, which had long been hidden inside the welter of chaos, began to explode with light all over the vault of the heavens, lest any part of the world should be wanting in its own living creatures, the floor of heaven was richly inlaid with stars and planets. The waves of the sea were assigned as the realm of the glinting fishes. The earth was the home of the beasts, and the yielding air for the birds. Yet a holier living creature, more able to think high thoughts, which could hold dominion over the rest, was still to be found. So man came into the world. Maybe the great artificer made him of seed divine in a plan for a better universe. Maybe the earth, that was freshly formed and newly divorced from the heavenly ether, retained some seeds of its kindred element. Earth, which Prometheus, the son of Lepidus, sprinkled with raindrops, and molded into the likeness of gods who govern the universe. Where other animals walk on all fours and look to the ground, man was given a towering head and commanded to stand erect, with his face uplifted to gaze to the stars of heaven. Thus clay, so lately no more than a crude and formless substance, was metamorphosed to assume the strange new figure of man.